Welcome to She Loves the Grid, where we discuss all things F1. Whether it's happening on the track, in the paddock, or beyond the grid, we'll talk about it all. Start. And here we are. Welcome back. She Loves the Grid, getting ready for it's a three-way, right? Three races in a row?
We have 3 races in a row. Yes.
More exciting. We're getting close to seeing each other.
Yay. Couple more days.
I guess I was too excited. How was your week?
Fine. Let's talk about your week.
Not as exciting as my week. So anybody who wants to be on our YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, it might be fun to come see it. I am a klutz. And I get to experience the wonderful healthcare in Germany when I fell and hit my head. And now I have this beautiful shiner.
It's so bad.
It's so much better than it did. It looks better because this was a couple of days ago. We're recording on Sunday and I did this Wednesday. So it's looking better.
Yes.
It's
looking worse because when you first showed it to me, it wasn't under your eye at all. It was just you.
No, but my eye is less purple. The lid is less dark purple. It's getting more yellow now. So that means that it's starting to, So it's I bruise so badly. So it's just, I'm getting all the colors. Yeah. It's fun. My ankle has got some pretty colors too, because my bad ankle, I rolled it luckily with the plate in it. I couldn't break it. But I sure sprained the ever living mess out of it. So it's nice and swollen and nice and pretty colors too. So
fun stuff. Oh my gosh. Never a dull moment.
Great for just going, at least look, I did it here before we get to Barcelona. I got to get all my klutziness out of the way because in a couple days, we're getting on the flight, meeting you in Spain. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it will be.
That was my week. Other than that, I've been in bed nursing all this.
Which is good. You need to just be in bed and resting, and you need like a little bubble around you.
I need a bubble.
You do.
I need bubble wrap.
What was that movie? The boy in the plastic bubble, like that.
Yeah, the boy.
The girl in the plastic.
Those balls that these people run around in and play in. I just need one of those all the time.
Yes. Oh my god!
All right, well, let's get into this week. I was watching on the periphery, but you've got most of the news this week because obviously I spent Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday just kind of out.
Yeah, there were some things that happened last week. We just did not have time to talk about them, and then otherwise this week there's not that much. We've got some silly season stuff, but thinking back to Canada last week, so I don't think we talked about this at all and totally meant to, but Canada pulled in Australia. And I have always heard, go to Canada. It's a great race and they're great there. And all the comments and stuff I've seen from people that went this year were horrible. So they let people out on the track before all the cars were done with their cool down after the race. So if you remember 2 years ago, Australia did that. And so last year this year, they forbid people from going out on the track at all. You could not, that right was taken away. The FIA did speak, I think they already spoke to the promoters, the showrunners in Canada. They were not happy. The FIA was not happy. I mean, obviously that's a huge safety issue for the drivers, for the people on the track, like the whole 9 yards. So they pulled in Australia. So we'll see if they're even allowed to do that next year. And what I think sucks, and maybe the crowd just overran, who knows, but if that kind of stuff is happening, I'm kind of worried that they're going to say all the tracks, that's not a thing anymore. You cannot come out on the track after the race. And that's really fun to do. Like not everybody gets to do a pit walk. Not everybody gets to, be out on the track beforehand. So if you don't have that opportunity for people afterwards, because, now two tracks have done it, that kind of sucks. So.
Yeah. And I wonder if there was some extra I know, aggressiveness from the fans after, the
That's
whole
what,
Friday debacle with the rain and
yes.
being told that it was canceled by the police when it really wasn't canceled by the police, and the people who
Yep.
didn't get to, see their Friday stuff. I mean, it was Friday. I mean, Canada was just
Friday.
insane between that and then the alleged, everybody's like, was it cheating? Was it not cheating with Red Bull
Oh yeah.
and all of that? Like, it was just, Canada just ended up being odd,
Yeah.
just not a positive.
No, definitely not a positive. So yeah, Friday, I would have been ticked if I had gotten. So if you don't know the full story, like that was the day that it rained, and it rained really hard and it hailed before practice even started. And so you have to take a train and you take a bridge, and you go into, it's on its own little kind of island. It's not connected to the rest of the area. So people are on the bridge waiting to get in, and the police officers took it upon themselves to say F1, FP1 and FP2 are canceled for today. You need to go. Back at the train stations, they were making announcements and telling people, don't get on the trains. It's been canceled. It's totally been canceled. There's a photographer, Kim Eelman, out of Australia, who is at all of the races. And he was inside the track, and people were telling him, he must have made a post, and people were commenting, we're stuck on the bridge. They're telling us that it's been canceled. And he's like, no, it hasn't. It absolutely has not been canceled. But the police officers weren't listening and didn't let them in. So they sent a lot of people home. And again, FIA, F1, furious, absolutely furious, because people are demanding their money back, which I don't blame them. You buy a 3-day ticket and you're
But how
told
do you get your money back from FIA or F1 when they didn't mess up? It's the police, and
right.
there's so many third party sellers and all that kind of stuff. But it's like they didn't mess up; the police messed up.
Right.
And I heard
Yep.
some people got through by saying, "Well, we're just going to the casino," and then they got.
Yes, I heard that too. Yeah, they got through that way, or at least they were allowed on the trains because they said we're going to the casino, and then I guess at some point maybe they were able to get in. But I mean, I agree with you, and we know in the past, like historically, F1 and FIA, whoever, they have not been generous in refunding people when things actually have been canceled.
Right.
So like Imola, I think was totally different, but there's been other times where they haven't. So I would have been mad if you flew there and you miss a whole day. Like, and granted, it wasn't the most exciting practices, but still, it's the whole atmosphere of being
Yeah, or if you only bought a Friday ticket,
right.
oh my gosh.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's just Canada was crazy
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
We did say chaos in Canada, and it was chaotic. So
Yes, it was. It absolutely was. So, other FIA news, this came out, I want to say Friday. They are paving the way for Kimi Antonelli. If you, yeah. So, they said that they are changing the rules on the minimum age for drivers to 17. So, it used to be, I don't know if it was 17 or younger, but after Max, they raised it. You had to be 18, you have to have the points, all of that. But I'm going to read it because what they updated says at the sole discretion of the FIA, a driver judged to have recently and consistently demonstrated outstanding ability and maturity in single-seater Formula car competition may be granted a super license at the age of 17 years old. We already know, like they kind of didn't what I now I don't even remember. They did something with his license recently, and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, he's going to replace Logan Sargent. Kimmy's going to replace Logan Sargent at at Imola," and that didn't happen. And now we've got this. I think he turns 18 in August, though,
yeah,
so it does kind of make you think we're the middle of June. Are we thinking of making a move before the break, or what's the deal? So the possibility is, though, he's 6 right now in F2. He's already driven older Mercedes cars. He was actually faster than both Mick and George. They all were testing at the same time. He was faster in the long runs. Because of that new change, we might see him in FP1 in Barcelona. They may allow him to jump in the car, this year's car, and let him do a free practice. I think that's exciting. I know.
And we'll do it.
I hope it happens because it's like, Kimmy, I mean, we already know, and we'll talk about this more in a second, but we already know like Toto's over the moon about him, wants him in. Everybody's supposedly convinced at Mercedes that he is their next driver. And so please, 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 please let him come. We know Ollie's going to be doing FP1 for Haas again. So I'm super excited about that. But yeah, but here's my thing. Neither Ollie, who I think is in 12th because he's had some pretty bad starts and he's had some bad luck. He missed a race because he was racing in F1. I think he's still the 12th, ranked 12th in the World Driver Championship for F1. He's also 12th in FP2. There's a whole other guy in first place. There's like, first through fifth. Do you think that those people are like, excuse me, why are we talking about Ollie and Kimmy going next year?
Yeah, I haven't paid enough to that series to see, is it their consistency? What is it that ranks them higher, over the years, or who's one? I don't know.
Well, it's not necessarily, I guess, over the year. It's the same kind of points as F1, or I don't know if it's the exact.
I mean, it's like who's number one now? Were they good last year? Are they younger? Or are they just too young this year to be considered? Like, I don't know enough to know the comparison. Why Kimmy and Ollie are ranking or have higher visibility? That's the point.
This is just their first. Well, Ollie did. I don't know about Kimmy. I feel like this is his first year in F2. But Ollie raced last year. So I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. Okay, moving on to silly season. So Stroll apparently announced in Canada he's staying at Aston Martin for 2025. Shocking. He said they're doing too much. They've got a lot of progress coming. He's not going anywhere. He's going to stay for 2025. He's going to stay for 2026. He'll probably stay until he's 85 years old. So
until his dad doesn't own the team.
Yeah, exactly. And even then, they'll probably write in a clause before he sells the team. Because there are other owners, but yeah, he owns the majority. Chatty Cathy, I feel like we haven't talked about him in a minute. If you're new to our podcast, Chatty Cathy is Helmut Marko because he's just a little Chatty Cathy. So he was talking about Liam Lawson this week because if you remember last year, Helmut said that Liam would have a seat in 2025 with one of the Red Bull teams. And they signed Yuki. That was announced while we were in Canada. So it's like, what about Daniel? We've already have 2 seats at Red Bull confirmed for next year. Well, longer than next year because Checo signed 2 years. Where does Liam Lawson go? So Chatty Cathy said Liam is at every race, which he is. And they're in close contact. He does have a clause that if they do not give him a seat in 2025, he can go race for another team. I just kind of feel like poor Liam Lawson has been sitting around because he was told he's going to get a seat someplace else. I feel like it's almost too late. Other teams, we keep hearing, and we'll talk about some of this, but like Haas is talking to people. Williams is talking to people. You still have Stake, Audi. They're talking to people. Maybe Alpine, because we know Ocon's going to be gone. But that doesn't give him a lot of opportunity. I hope his team is out there talking to people now because I really think that they will let Daniel go. Especially if Daniel keeps performing like he did in Canada.
Yeah, and if it's not just a one-time thing, because that's been his best all season.
Yeah, and everybody was super excited about that sprint qualifying or qualifying. Was he in Miami? But it was like then he did horrible in the race. Yuki's outperformed him. So Liam Daniel. I don't know. There's also rumors that Esteban Ocon is going to Haas. I didn't see this one coming, but allegedly, obviously, rumors. But here's my thing. There's a lot of talk that is for sure where Ollie is going. I like Esteban off the track, but I don't want him racing my Ollie. No, thank you. No, thank you. He is notorious for fighting his teammates.
Yes.
It's not, I think different teams, great. Love the wheel to wheel action. Awesome. But not your own teammate. You're costing your team money and upgrades and points and everything else. And Ollie's gonna be first year on track. This stresses me out.
Yeah, it makes, I'm sitting here thinking like, who would leave to get some of these new up and coming talents into the grid, especially with there's such stubbornness to add more teams to the grid. So
Yeah.
who goes? Who goes? I mean, Joe comes to mind. I don't want to see him go, but he seems to be the and Sargent.
Yes, Sergeant Joe Magnuson, I think, would probably go. I mean, Esteban's been out before, but I almost can see like Esteban being out.
Yeah,
I don't know how many teams want to deal with that. Like, so that's 4.
He's not been that consistent, and he's had that attitude problem his entire racing career.
Yeah, it's hard. And well, I mean, yes, I agree with you 1,000,000%. I think he's one of the few drivers in a while that really doesn't come with, a lot of money from the family and everything else. Like, he has worked hard. I don't know. Toto has always had, I don't know what the real relationship is there, if he's more than a mentor, kind of a manager. I'm not really sure, but he definitely has support from Toto Wolff. So I don't know. I feel like he's one, though, that you could see maybe it's time to let some of these drivers go and bring some new ones up. You never know. Yeah. But then you have, like, I mean, we have to talk about then super license points. Where are the younger drivers with that? There's only been a handful, and most maybe get once, twice towards the end of a year that have an opportunity to drive the car. And we think about Teo, who was he Alpine? I don't think he was Alpine. Who was he the reserve driver for? Well, he's gone to Indy this year. He started off as a reserve driver for a Formula One team. I can't think of it off the top of my head. And now he's driving for Indy with McLaren. So I don't think he was a McLaren reserve driver. Maybe he was.
I don't think so.
But anyways, so the drivers that have had the opportunities to be out there, those very rare opportunities, they're, at least one is ditched. So I don't blame him. Go have a regular seat on an Indy series. Like, why not? You may never get a chance over here. Poor Liam Lawson can attest to that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Carlos, more Williams rumors.
I'm getting so much anxiety over Carlos. Hopefully, since we're going to Barcelona, maybe we'll get an answer. Like, I would love to get an answer before the summer happens. It's killing me.
I would too. It's killing you. Oh my goodness. I am stressed out. But the more I keep hearing, so the last thing I heard this week was that allegedly they're offering him a 4-year contract, which to me fits with what James has said. He wants somebody that will be there for more than 2 years, right? Because of next year's kind of a wash. Then they've got the new regulations and blah, blah, blah. So he wants somebody that's going to be there. So that makes sense based on what James has said. So allegedly the contract's offering 4 years, but he can leave after 2 years if what James has envisioned does not actually work out the way they think it will. So that, I was kind of like, okay, that sounds plausible. This sounds like a plausible rumor. James is still courting him through the media. And I'm sure
he's got a big name coming. So if you're, there's not much bigger names out there other than.
Yes, but that he was referring more to the technical side.
Oh, so yeah, that's true.
When James said they've got some big names coming, but this is a quote. I'm going to read it because he said they can't announce it yet, but they have some very big changes coming on the technical organization side. He said, we're not yet, unfortunately, in a position to announce these, but when we do start to announce who we have signed, they're going to see big names recognized by a lot of people. So across their technical organization, their aerodynamic organization. Adrian Newey. That's all I can think. Because honestly, for the majority of us, there's not a whole lot of big names that we all follow or talk about regularly when it comes to technical or aerodynamics. So who are they talking about besides
That would bring
people?
Williams back to its heyday.
It could. It absolutely could. I heard he doesn't like, I mean, his cars are supposedly more ground force focused, and the 2026 cars are apparently not. And he doesn't like it, but I would still trust him to do it. But talk about a way to keep somebody there. Like people said, ooh, Albon signing a longer contract. That's interesting considering the way Williams has started this year. But if you're courting somebody like Carlos Sainz, telling him, hey, we're
And
signing
Adrian
Adrian
spent 4 years with Williams.
Yeah.
5 years. Yeah. So that would be kind of neat to start back at Williams and 91 through 96. I just looked it up, and to be there and then maybe finish his career at Williams, especially if he can bring him back to the heyday. That would be kind of cool.
Yes, cool. Absolutely. That's really kind of it. So that's pretty amazing. I love that. So we'll see. I don't know. Williams might have Adrian, they might have Carlos, they might have nobody that we even know. So
or both.
Or both. Or both. Really quickly before I forget, I just had to share this because we're talking about kind of silly season and drivers that, got a chance or maybe not much of a chance. Sorry, there's like I have these cute little baby bunnies that come to my yard. They've actually not been here for 2 days, and I just looked and he's sitting right outside my door eating something. I don't even know what he's eating, but he's so cute. So Nick DeVries, we all remember the 5 or 6 races that Nick DeVries was in F1 before with AlphaTauri, but now VCarb. So he is one of the drivers in Le Mans, which is happening right now. And before the race even got started, he bumped into the back of a sister team. So, I mean, I'm guessing he was able to drive, but Nick DeVries, come on. What is happening? I mean, he was such a great driver. He said they hit their brakes too late. He did not know what was happening. And yeah, I don't know. Anyways, there's that. But just a little Le Mans news for you. I can't watch the race, so I keep trying to stay up on it. So we'll see what happens, whoever wins. Last man standing, Lando Norris is the only driver now this season to have points in every single race. Before Canada, it was him and Charles, and then they announced it, and Charles, had to retire the car. Now they're announcing Lando, so hopefully nothing happens to Lando when we're in
Barcelona. I know, especially for Barcelona.
Please
we need to showing in Barcelona.
Please no. All right, let's talk about the 2026 regulations. So this was one thing we mentioned last week, but we didn't have time to talk about it, so we said we're going to talk about it this week. So 2026 cars are going to be lighter, shorter, narrower. So hopefully we get more wheel-to-wheel action. And I would think in a place like Monaco, where especially this year, people are like, the cars are too big and you can't overtake. Hopefully this will help, like make it not as crazy. So what I think is funny, I'm going to read some of this stuff. So it's going to have a power boost button. Power boost, which is basically a manual override to get a short burst of battery power. So hopefully you're close to somebody, you can hit your power boost and overtake them. Then there's X mode. So drivers can activate X mode on the straights, and the flaps on the front and the rear wings are going to open, and it's going to maximize straight line speed. Then there's Z mode. So Z mode, which is high downforce setting to allow drivers to have more speed on the corners. I think it was Max, and I haven't gone to verify this, but I think it was Max that said, like, are they going to throw like mushrooms and things like from Mario Kart? Because it sounds like that, doesn't it? Doesn't it kind of?
Like they're playing on the console and the game controller pad. Hey, why? Where's the Y?
Yeah, exactly. And it's so
funny. Their kind of look like that anyway. So
they do. Yes, they absolutely do. But it was funny because when I was reading about this, I was like, it totally sounds like a video game. And I think I just saw a little blurb. I think that's what Max was talking about. If not, then I don't know what he was talking about, but we're on the same page. What's kind of cool is it's supposed to have a more efficient power unit with 300% more battery power. The fuels have to be 100% sustainable. So a couple of things. Last week, not all the teams had agreed to or signed off on the changes. And when this was broadcast by the FIA, at least 2 teams said they were threatening to leave F1. So total gaming, but they were like, no, we did not sign off on this. So absolutely not. So allegedly, each team has sent a technical rep to meet with the FAA to talk about these regulations a little bit more. Teams are concerned that the active aerodynamics for the front and the rear wing, it's so hard to say rear wing. I always stumble over that. Rear wing. But they think it's a big risk. And I know that Andrea Stella came out from McLaren, he's the McLaren principal, came out and said that the cars are not very fast on the corners, and they're way too fast on the straights, which when we talk about the X mode, that sounds like that kind of matches up. But overall, they're at this point, based on simulations, they're not any faster than, or barely faster than the F2 cars. So they're saying, like, we've got to do something about that too. We can't be barely faster than the F2 cars. That doesn't make any sense. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if F1 sticks with this or if they agree to make some changes to the regulations. But if I'm a team, I'm going to be thinking, I need to know now because I'm planning. I'm already building, maybe not building, but I'm, coming up with a concept. If I have to start from scratch, I'm going to be ticked. So
there's so much to do. Yeah, there's so much to do, and to be making these changes, they've got to solidify it and get it down and figure out what they're going to do. I saw a bunch of no more DRS, no more DRS, like RIP to DRS.
Hang on. I'm taking a picture of this bunny because you guys, he's got some sort of dried thing and it's just like sticking out of his mouth and he's just sucking it in like pasta.
She looks good and hear about the wildlife at the same time.
Well, you can't really see it. Darn it. You can't see it. It's so funny. Anyways, okay, yeah. There's always wildlife in my yard. It's been usually last week it was more, or 2 weeks ago, I think it was more carnage in my yard. This week has been, at least today has been cuter. Okay, sorry. That was a sorry. Okay, let's talk about what's coming up. So,
like you said, we have a triple header starting with Barcelona when we'll be together. Exciting.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Then what?
And then, let's see, what's it? Austria. I almost said Australia. Austria and Silverstone after that, which I did not win Silverstone.
Darn it. You entered a contest.
Yeah, I'm excited about Barcelona because you have F1, F2, F3, and F1 academies. We're going to see so much. It's going to be such a packed weekend. And you and I are going, and my partner's going with this. We get pit walk. So we're going to see that. It's going to be such a packed weekend.
Oh, my goodness. I was thinking, because I haven't started packing yet, but I thought I really don't need much because I'm not ever going to dress nicely to go to the track. I'm sitting in a box. We're sitting across from the start finish, and it's covered, which is nice, but it's dusty and dirty. So I don't really need a whole lot, but I'm so excited. Hopefully we'll be able to post a lot. I don't remember what the Wi-Fi situation is there, if it's good. It's out
me now because I have European cellular. So
that's right. Oh, that's great.
You can come off my Wi-Fi, so you've got me now. So
hey, you can post.
I'm European, so we have European cellular.
Yes, you can post. That's going to be awesome. I'm excited, and I hope you guys don't hate me, but we're going to be there like as soon as the buses leave, first thing in the morning. I've got the times. We are on it because We need to see all of it. We need to see all the
Absolutely. And I'm so glad we got great seats because, of course, being my ankle, I'm going to be sitting there most of the time, not moving. So I'll hold our seat.
Yes. And there's not a whole lot to see. Like some tracks, it's kind of interesting. Like Austin, you can walk around and then they have all these like rides and really cool, fun things and food out around, the back of the track. But for Barcelona, we did walk the whole thing. And yes, there's a couple areas where you could walk, but right where you come in, where our seats are going to be, you've got the whole fan fest thing. The stage was right there for the driver talks. There's food. We don't need to walk around. Trust me.
Awesome.
It's a very long way. We went one time, we're like, oh, well, we usually go right. Let's go left. That was a huge mistake. It took we saw the entire thing, but yeah. I mean, there's stuff to do, I guess, out there, but nothing that we necessarily need to do. So,
well, this will be interesting. This second to the last year, they're going to be in Barcelona, right? Because we're moving to Madrid. So it's we're getting to get to see it before they move. So that's nice.
Yes.
There's a couple of deer zones, if I remember correctly. I'm looking at the note. Oh yeah. Notes, 2 deer zones. It's going to be like you said, right at the start finish line. So nice.
Yeah. 66 laps. I think. I'm hoping. Okay, so here's the thing is like with the teams being as competitive as they are this year, last week, commentators and stuff were talking about how excited they are for Barcelona because it is one of those tracks. One, drivers that have been around for a minute are very familiar with the track because obviously they've raced there for a while, but it also used to be where they did preseason testing. Two, the track has a great combination of high speed and low speed corners. So it should be super competitive for everybody because if some cars are better on high speed corners, awesome. If some cars are better on low speed corners, awesome. Like hopefully it'll even out the playing field even more. And I'm hoping like quali, hopefully race day that where we're sitting, we're seeing battles, right? Like I really hope that we are. I'm so excited.
It's not going to happen because they're just not performing well. But that crazy thing still stands. Fernando wins. I get a Fernando tattoo.
Do it.
But he's got to win in Barcelona because I'm there.
That would be incredible. Yes, home race for Carlos and Fernando. And last year was so cool. Ooh, you know what I just realized? We will be towards the front. So when they do the national anthem and the drivers step forward for that, like last year was so cool just watching it even on a screen from where I was sitting.
We'll be right there.
I know. I'm so excited about that. 66.
I have to bring all my charging bricks, like every charging brick I have. So we take all the cameras. Oh my gosh.
I was going to ask you, side note, but like I was going to ask you what charging brick do I need to get? Because I might need to do that as well. I saw one that just came out in April. What's that?
I'll be bringing 4.
Maybe I don't need one. I don't want to take all you guys' juice, but I saw one for Anchor, but it sounds like it gets really hot.
Oh, no, they don't. I'll send you the one you need because that's the one we have. Is Anchor. Yeah.
Is it the one that magnets to the phone?
No.
Oh, okay. That's the one I was talking about.
No.
So I need to just get a different Anchor one. Okay.
I'll send you what you need.
Send it to me.
Yeah, so that's it. I don't think there's much else. It's exciting.
Nope.
Our next video, I'll probably still have a multicolored face because it's going to take a while for this to go away, but it's all good.
Yes.
And the sun, oh my gosh, you guys are getting to see the people who are watching on YouTube. It is 5:30 in the afternoon in Berlin, and the sun is just slowly going across me. The summer sun.
It's awesome. I love it.
We're nearing the longest day of the year. It's like daylight, almost 20 hours. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness. That's insane. All right.
Here. That's it. Yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for getting all this information together, Diane. You're awesome as always. And we will see you guys in Barcelona.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe and leave a rating and a review. To stay up to date with She Loves the Grid and get all the behind the scenes content, you can follow us on Instagram at She Loves the Grid and on Facebook at facebook.com/She Loves the Grid. Thank you for joining us for the ride this week.